Hello my lovelies, just thought I'd pop on, say hello. Hope you're all doing okay. Today, as you've seen from the title, it is how to do a gel overlay on natural nails. So I'll explain a little bit about what gels you can use for what lengths and stuff, and I'll show you how I've done it. So I've been growing my own nails with the gel overlay. So bearing in mind that I used to bite my nails many years ago, but then if I take them off I can't resist. A gel overlay is the best way for me to grow my nails and stop biting them, basically. So they look a lot prettier. I'll just move my thumb out of the way because I've already done that one. So as you can see, I had my overlay and I've polished them, but now I want to make them more natural looking. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Yeah, but first of all I'm going to take this down, so I'll just do one and show you removing this gel polish and a little bit of the overlay that's already on, just to give me more scope for making them natural looking. So yeah, today I'm going to use Design Nails, so Dorota Polishka's gels. These are beautiful. I've got Perfect Rose, which I normally use when I want to paint my nails, or you can leave them that colour, actually it's gorgeous. And I've also got Milky Pink. Just look at these pots, oh, they're beautiful. The only other colour I've got from her in one of these pots is a clear, but I've got an empty one of these that I can buy a white and refill it, I think. So not having a white in that today, I'm using this one which I've had a heck of a long time, and it's a Victoria Vin. And I did like this gel, I thought it was great. So this one is number 2 extremely white. It's not that extreme to be honest, but it'll do. So go and grab whichever gels you want to do your overlay in, and you might want to clear as well, or instead, it's entirely up to you. But yeah, we'll get these cracked open in a sec, but we'll just remove the gel off one, I'll show you. And I'm keeping them short-ish, but I can't resist just leaving that little bit of growth that I've actually managed. So yeah, see you back at my desk, and I'm going to do a voiceover for some of it, I think. So yeah, see you in a minute. So these 2 thumbnails have grown, this one a little bit more than this one, but I'm not bothered about them all being exactly the same length at the minute. It's all been about the growing process, because I've actually got a poly finger as well, which I can't put any sort of overlay on. If you don't like iffy things, don't look now, but it's the one that got onycholysis. So my nails split, they are ridged. And one of the things about growing your own nails is all of our family had ridged nails, all of us. And I don't know why, we just did. But I went through many, many years as a kid, as well as a youth, wanting my nails to look nicer and polish them and stuff. Tried to stop biting them several times, tried all sorts that you paint on that taste nasty and all sorts of things. Anyway, one problem that I did was that I used to always file the ridges off, and that's not the way to do it. You need to fill the ridges, don't file them off. That's your normal thickness of nail. It's the indentation which is thin. So by taking all those ridges off the top, I've just made my nails incredibly thin. And now in later years they've started to split. I've noticed my brothers are splitting up, and he's never ever ever had anything on his nails. So yeah, it's not because of the products, it's just the way we are, I'm afraid. So this is my nail plate underneath, sorry, nail bed, and the nail plate has detached, and it's started to come back a bit. So I've got this much growth now since, but I'm not convinced it's not going to split again, but we'll see. I usually manage a few months before it splits again. So yeah, can't do that one. So it's another reason for keeping them short, but I still want them to look nice-ish. If I keep that one out of the way, we're all right. So this is the one that I've had the overlay on for a bit, and it's now grown out to here. This one I did yesterday just to try it with these products, and I like it. The thing is that if you want them to look natural, don't worry too much about that being super duper dead white. I'm not doing the reverse French method. and you can see a little bit of my own fingernail through it. Now, if you've got perfectly white ends when they grow, you might just want to do this overlay in a clear, but mine aren't. They never have been. I mean, that's clean and you can still see it's beigey. So yeah, I'm just putting the white over that. But I've got that sort of more natural looking line around it, rather than the reverse French where you file round that and make it perfectly straight. If that's your choice, you can do, but I want these to look natural looking. So yeah, I think that looks quite pretty. And that's what I'm going to do with these today. So I've got about 10 minutes before I put tea on, so I'll just get one nail taken off. But I need to show you that I need to correct. Sometimes your nails don't grow straight and sometimes you've got bent fingers. On this hand, I've got a bent finger, very bent finger, look. And I've broken that off. It's a job to keep that one growing, but that's how these all started on the other hand, where they were behind the end of my fingernail. So for this one, I'm going to use a paper foam when I do it. But there are lots of other videos on how to put your paper foam on, so I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to do this one hand, but that needs correcting because I have to kind of straighten it up a little bit. Likewise on this one, it's starting to grow over there. It tends to curl a bit, this index finger. So as you can see from the growth, it's twisting over a little bit. So what I want to do is put a bit more product down this side, take a bit more product off this side, and then that'll straighten that up. But if you've been a biter, I also recommend you don't go for square. One of the reasons why you keep biting, in my experience anyway, is when you've got little sharp corners and stuff. And if I go for square, I can't keep that little corner out of my mouth. I just like want to straighten it off with my teeth. It's shocking a bit, I know. But I would go for an oval or a squoval, or just follow the shape of your finger until you've got enough length to do something like an almond. But yeah, you'll find it easier to not bite if they're not square. I've found anyway. So let's get this one taken off and have a look what we've got underneath. So I've got my extractor fan ready. If you only treat yourself to one thing when you're doing your nails all the time, get a dust collector. It's a godsend. Please protect those lungs. It's very mumsy today, isn't it? So I am going to use this medium, and it's a safety bit. I do like using a safety bit, and I've got used to using one because if I use my non-dominant hand, I'm a bugger for nipping my cuticles. So I'm going to use this to start, and then I'm going to use another bit to push back my cuticle. So I'm going to have this on, I'm going to have it on about 20, just to remove this product down a bit. So this is where I'll have to voice over if I want to tell you anything. So this is my own nail underneath there, and I've only filed where I'd got the old gel on. So this is the regrowth down here. So you can either push your cuticle back, or you can use your drill bit to push your cuticle back. So this is at the point of doing it if you have not got anything on your nails at all. This is like from scratch. So what you would do is take off any gel polish or anything that you've got on, and then reveal your natural nail. I've got a little bit of lifting at the back there by the look of things, but I also want to push my cuticle back, get as much nail plate as I can, and then I'm going to correct this shape when I do the build. But you can cut out the pushing it back if you push it back with your mandrel and your sanding band. So I've just got one of the little small ones on here. It's very naughty because I should have brushed that off before I changed my bit. And I'm going to keep this on low, and I'm going to use it to push my cuticle back, and then I'll be exfoliating my cuticle off the nail plate and exfoliating a bit of the proximal nail fold there, and making sure that I get rid of any lifting. But on your natural nail bed, you want sort of a medium or a fine, you don't want anything coarser. And we're just going to take off any shiny surface that you've got on your nail. So you do that with that, or you can do it with your hand file. So if you get yourself a 180/240 nail file, this looks a bit hacky, but I only ever use this on me, and I spray it with alcohol when I've finished. So this is my metal framed one, which is great if you want to keep straight edges. You don't have to use this type, but 180/240 is my preferred go-to. I very rarely use anything harder than or coarser than a 180, to be honest, only if I'm trying to file down acrylic. But this Derota gel, this is a fibre gel, so it's very strong on my nails, but easy to file. Very easy to file. It's a lovely product to use. So what you would do with the hand file is go around the edges, get off any cuticle. I'll do it on this side. Get off any cuticle, but I'm kind of pushing it back with it at the same time. And I'm just edging into that edge where I think it might have lifted, so just behind it. That's it. And then down. So you would take your shine off. With that, don't keep going at it. You don't want to make it super smooth. You want it to be a little bit rough for your gel to adhere to it. I've seen people use these soft buffers and they're buffing it through thinking, oh yeah, that looks absolutely beautiful. You want to see some of these little lines on it because that's what your gel will attach to. We don't use them buffers until we've absolutely finished. So with your E-file, I'm just going to do this only on about 3. And I've got it in forward and I'm going to push against my cuticle a little bit. And just go around it. So it's cleaning that up as well a little bit. So I'm just going to get any that I think might have lifted off there. Just from behind it. That's it. Then I'm going to turn it into reverse. And I'm going to go back the other way. I'm pushing it up. My cuticles are fairly soft because I am always using cuticle oil. That's it, no lift. And then you'd rough up your nail. Well, when I say rough it up, take your shiny surface off and give yourself something for the gel to adhere to. Little motions. Now, I'm not doing an awful lot with my cuticle until I've finished because I'm going to be filing around it, so I don't want to make it so. So leave that till the end. Don't be too particular at the minute. If you've got anything that's hanging down over your nail plate like that little bit, I've lost my clippers. If you've got anything hanging down like that, you see you've got that like flat bit there. If you have it like this, you're probably going to cut yourself because they're very sharp. So if it's like this, you'll cut yourself. Lean that back onto your cuticle like this yeah, and then I'm clipping it. So I'm leaning that back. Yeah, so I'll push the skin away with it. If I go like this and try and cut it off, I can guarantee you're going to cut yourself. So do that. Or if you don't even like nippers or cleaning it with an e-file, you can just use cuticle remover. Quite a lot of people, that's the sort of good old trusted old fashioned way. Can you see how my nail has a split already? That's just me. That's just the way I am. So that's why I can't grow them without an overlay. So I'm just going to clean these off. I've sanitised my hands before I started. So I'm just going to get that dust off all the way around. And that's my prep. And never scrape under your nails with anything. When they're growing, they might feel a bit weird because if you imagine my nail was only attached down to my ear because I used to bite it. As your nail's growing up, if you maintain this overlay, it will start to reattach higher and higher up until now it's attached all the way up to there. So I can actually see it a little bit under here. So one of the important things that you can do is not only use your cuticle oil around here, but put some under there. If you keep your hypernicum soft, it's going to feel much nicer. And that's how far it's grown up now on that nail. Instead of being down here, it's attached all the way up to the end. So yeah, never clean under there with anything sharp. Just use a nail brush. That's that. Okay, so it is, as usual, 5 o'clock. I've put my back out. I've put my back out doing my deadheading, my beloved deadheading in the garden. But I leaned over too far just to clip a few off. And yeah, I've trapped my disc again. So I've not been feeling like doing it until it got to about 4:15. Now it's too late. So I'll come back after tea and we'll get these done. I'll clean another one off for you and then we'll get some gel put on. These foams you get in lots of kits, which if you were building long nails, I'd say they're absolutely pants. You don't want to use them for that. You need much better foams than these. But seeing as I'm just building up the little bits, yeah. Because I'm just building up the little bits, I'll use these. Let me just check shape-wise. I think we'll be okay. So, I'm just going to stick this on. So, I like to bend them back out the way while I'm faffing. And then let me just see if that's going to go. Yeah. So I want the centre line underneath. I want to make sure it's right up under that nail. It's not going to come down far enough because I need to build down to there. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of that out. Just going to cut a little bit of that out there. See if that'll go. Yeah, further down. So let's get the middle. There we go. Oh, there we are. I want them corners to meet up under there. So I'm not coming all the way up here, I'm only building this little side. So I'm using this white. There we go. And I'm using Misty Pink, Milky Pink. So, I was going to say about telling you what to use. If your nails are no longer than this, you could probably use a rubber base. You might have got fairly strong nails anyway, but mine are super thin. But you could use a rubber base. That won't be enough for me. Probably have to use a builder gel. So you can use a Biab builder in a bottle, builder gel in a tub, and these are soak-offs. So if you get fed up with them, you can soak them off. But don't be misillusioned into thinking that you can use an overlay on your nails, and then when they've grown, you'll be able to get rid of the overlay and your nails will carry on. If your nails tend to break, they'll break. Having the overlay on is what is giving them their strength to continue. If you take the overlay off, you'll soon be back to square one. So don't think I'll grow them and then I'll stop once I've done it. You might be able to just continue putting just a thin layer on, a little bit of a backfill now and again. But yeah, a rubber base or a soak-off builder will be fine if you've got your nails fairly short. If you want them any longer than that, I would use what I'm using already anyway, which is a fibre gel. It's a hard gel, so you want something that doesn't say soak off. So it's a hard gel or a poly gel. That would do it. That's a slightly different technique, or acrylic. You could use any of those. But if you want to build any length at all, then use one of those last three. And just keep your rubbers and your Biabs for short nails, really. So I don't need a primer on, should I say it, start again. I don't need an undercoat with this gel. I just use this primer, which is Universal Air Bond from Dorota's. So first of all, use whatever dehydrator you want. I'm using just alcohol, that's enough for me. That's it. Universal Air Bond down there. Let that dry. While that's drying, I may as well clean these ones up because I've finished filing. Just going to use this little brush just for placement of the white, and my trusty favourite, I can't even remember where I got it from, any sort of gel brush like that. So I use it all the time. So that'll have dried off now. So I'm going to use you can use this white just at the top. Instead of building a clear layer first and doing it, I'm going to build the extension with the white. So there. I'm going to do it along this line. There we are. So I need that in the line that I want it to be. I'm going to bring it up slightly. Tiny little bit at a time, look. Just not running away with me. That's it. There we go, for that 30 seconds. It's a 60-second cure, but I'll just give it 30 because I'm moving on to something else that's going to be going back in the lamp. It's not very thick, and I want to backfill with the pink, so I'm just going to make that white a little bit thicker. So that's cured. I'm not going to take my foam off yet while it's had 30 seconds until I've put the backfill in and buttered it up, because I don't want to break it, because there's not really much of a connection at this point. So I'm going to take that down to the white. There we go. And then put a little bit on as a backfill. And that's going to go ever so slightly over the white. That's it. So I can actually take this off now. Squeeze. That's it. So that's that one extended and done. So that just needs filing. So I've gone down a bit, but it doesn't matter. It's going to file off really easily, that. The next thing is this one that needs that correction, but I'm going to do it without a foam, just to show you. My nail bed comes all the way down there because obviously I used to bite them. Don't file all the way down the sides. The difficulty I've got is it's not attached anyway. So if it broke all the way down there, if you know what I mean. So I'm being careful not to file that at all. And I'm going to cover that up. So I've just touched it with my finger. So I'm just going to make sure it's clean again. Give that a little push back with it. Reverse layer bond. So whatever primer you use for your system, go in with that. If you've got very porous nails, I would be careful of using an acid primer. It stings like buggery. So I'm going to build that white up again. Just using my little brush. I'm going to put it where I want it in the middle. And sort of draw my line, really. That's it. That'll do. fill my end in. If you do it over the end of your nail, it will extend them ever so slightly. And if you go over the end, it'll stop it pulling back. You can see the shape, it's like trying to go back up. But I want that extra on the end to file. There we go. Now I'm going to add that little bit of extra to the side. Like this. So I'm pulling my skin back. There we are. There we are, so further out than I want it to be. I'm just going to make sure that's straight again. Or curved, should I say. Yeah, that's straightening up nicely, but I am just going to build another little bit over that edge. And I've just built that little ridge to take the pink to, if you know what I mean. There we go. That's it. And again, I'm going to put the milky pink, very thin slip layer at the back here. Without touching that proximal nail fold. And all the way down to that white. And a little bit of a build. You can use your little brush for this if you want instead. I'm going to make a cushion. Push it up. Side to side. And just over the edge of that white. Just need a teeny tiny little bit more. Just so it's standing a bit higher than the white. There we go, just for filing. So while they're in the lamp, I'll just tell you that I'm going to cure them for a full cure, and then I'm going to finish the other nails, and then we'll come back and we'll do a little bit of filing on them. So if you want this effect straight away, when your nails are still down here, you'd have to stick a little tip on, and then you could do this in this fashion. If you don't want to stick a tip on, if you're going to be patient and let them grow up, just use the pink, and then when you start to get some length, you'll be able to put the white on it. So I'll get these two built up and then we'll do some filing. So they're all cured, so I've lost some of the white because I've put the pink over it, but that doesn't matter, I've done that because I'm going to be filing it. And what am I doing now? Wiping off that inhibition layer. Be careful to not wipe it up your finger. So side by side and down, and then I'll fold it over and go all the way around the edges. Like that. I can fold that again and do my little finger. Right, I'm going to use my sanding band just to file them, and I'm not going to finalise the shape for a second. So if yours is stronger than mine, you might want to use a medium, but this is just a fine. Only on about 10 because I'm not really removing, I'm just finalising it, but I'm going to go across where the white and the pink is. So I like my nails quite thin on the end as well. That's why I built it in white and not in clear. Do this with a hand file if you want. I'm going to put it in reverse. Let's go down. Make sure there's no ridge. And I'm just going to thin it a bit at the end. I've got to get the shape into this one, so I'm going to take up where I went down too far underneath, if you know what I mean. So I'm lifting it. Like that. And then I'm just going to shape down. Because I want it. So you see, even without using foams, because I put it to the end, it has extended my nail ever so slightly. And you see under there. So that's my natural nail, and then it's just a bit more white on the end. So it's extended them ever so slightly. And now, because I've built some out at the sides on that one and on this one, I'm going to go over with the clear gel. So if you've stuck a tip on or you've used foams to build your white, put a clear on top because you need a solid piece that goes over everything to join your white and your pink and make sure that you're not going to lose your white bit off the end, basically. So you're wanting to attach all this lot together. So I made that mistake when I first started and I did my daughter's with white at the end, and she lost her white bits. So I'm just having a look, make sure I'm happy with it before I cover it. Now, if you've wiped off any tackle layer or anything like that, with your gel, it might be that you need to do a base coat again before you put your clear on. But I'm okay with this one. I'll just go straight over the top. So I'm only going to do it really thin, so I've hardly got anything on my brush. So just like a slip layer. So at this point, if you want to build up any depth, do it at this point. Tiny, tiny little bit. Right to my edge. So that one I could lift slightly, to be honest. So I'm going to do that now. So exactly the same as I did before. Push. 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 It's terrible trying to show you this finger on camera. It like locks up. So I'm just going to do it all the way down. Let them settle a minute. I want to be able to just buff it before I top coat. I mean now, even though you've done it pink and white, if you get fed up with it, all you need to do is buff off your top coat and paint them. Put a bit of colour back in. Especially if you use a hard gel, because you're not gonna soak it off if you do soak off your gel polish. That's those cured. I'm just going to shift these out of the way and give it a little buff. No doubt, before long, I shall be deciding that I want a bit of colour on. In fact, I've got to polish it out. This is what I was going to do before I changed my mind. I was going to do super pink and sparkly. So I'm still tempted just to have one nail in that, but... And then from top to bottom. And side to side. So, round huge claw. Top to bottom. And side to side. There we go. And one final step before I top coat. Is using a little ball bit just to polish up. Just around any dry skin. That's why I leave it till last, because, see, like I did that one. It's beautiful. I'll leave it till last. Polish it up a bit. Don't know why this makes funny noise. I'm wondering if it's that thing. Yeah, it was. Little hard skin. If you're a bit dry under your hypernicum there, you can do it with this little soft thing. That's what I do. That's it. But don't push anything down there. Don't use anything sharp. But just any dry skin on the end here, you can get rid of that. If you get rid of it, you won't bite it off. And I promise you, the more you use cuticle oil, the less you'll bite, because you won't have little bits dangling off. Okay. So, just going to go and wash my hands. You don't want to be putting cuticle oil on until you've made sure that you've got no dust, gel, debris or anything like that. Otherwise it'll carry it through. Your oil being absorbed will carry any chemicals through that are still on your hands, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to go and wash my hands first. So I'm just going to do a little clean down before I get my top coat. I don't want any bits going in it. If you are thinking of doing an overlay and you've not done it before, I don't want you to go away thinking, oh, goodness me, I can't do that. Or any videos that you watch, don't think, oh, I can't do that, unless you've tried it. And if you try it and you don't succeed, try it again. Because I think what you ought to do is probably pop over and have a look at people's early videos. I certainly, when I started, my shaping and everything was absolutely shocking. But I'm hoping my daughter will see these and go, can I have mine like that? Because I can't stand painting French on after. I do it sometimes, but I don't like it. I really don't like it at all. I'd much sooner have it built into my nails. And like I said, then you can change your colour. And if you've got time to take it off and not put it back on, your nails still look nice. So, yeah. So, actually, I don't need that again. So, move that onto the side. Let me go. Get away. I hope you found something useful in it today anyway. I think I'll put you a link up there for one of my early videos for you to have a look at. Top coat. That might be an idea. So I've got, what's here? High Shine No White top coat. So while I'm doing my top coat on here, I just want to give a little bit of a shout out to two of my lovelies in my little hive of bees. I've got Angela Lunn and Joanne Tomlins today to mention. Now, Joanne and Angela have both been watching me, I think, since the very beginning, and I really appreciate it. Your support is unbelievable. You're there so often, leaving me comments and that, and it makes my day. Joanne also left me a message, said that she's received her little lucky bag. I just wanted to send a little thank you. So Joanne's received her little lucky bag for becoming a member. And Angela, if you can email me, my darling, I can send you your little lucky bag. Because I know you're in the UK. The only person that's not had one is Grand Mimu, bless her, said it's too far and too expensive to send because she's in Canada. So it's a bit of a shame that. So it is vastly expensive. I did look it up for what's in the package, to be honest. But it's just a little thank you. There's not much in it. So if Angela, if you can email me, love, on nails by Sue #2 at gmail.com, then I can get you a little lucky dip. I know you've not joined it for that reason, but I just want to say thank you. So yeah, that would be nice if you could do that. I've had a couple of newcomers. One of them was Heather, and she sent me her details now. So thank you, Heather. That's on the way to you. And then a new one today, Charlotte's Nail Corner. So thank you for joining me. It's really great. I have subscribed to your channel, Charlotte, or Charlotte, I'm not quite sure. Yeah. So let me know if you're going to be doing more videos, sweetheart, because I know we've not got masses of videos yet. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying YouTube journey. But if you've got something from this at all, let me know in the comments. I do hope I can help in some small way. Here we are, all done. What do you think? Think you could live with them? I think they look so much prettier. Makes a change, doesn't it? Yeah. So use a darker pink, lighter pink. You can do your overlays in just clear if you've got nice white tips coming, or you can do it in just a cover pink, so it covers the whole thing, or like this, with the two colours. So I've only been able to do two colours because I've got a little bit of growth. So like I said, if you haven't got any growth, you can stick a tip on, but I've tried to be patient. I hate sticking tips on. I'd much sooner use foams. So there we go, they're all done. Now I've got another hand to do. Oh God, I hate doing that hand. Thank you very much, everybody. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. But in particular, if you could watch another video, that'd be absolutely marvellous. I will put you a link at the top for one of my very early videos, so you can see that it does make a difference when you put in a little bit of practice. So yeah, above all, enjoy yourself. Take care, look after each other, and love you loads. Love you. Bye.